Happy Wednesday. How are you doing on this amazing Wednesday evening? Welcome to Get to Know Bob, this amazing platform where we do just that and we talk to some amazing Black business owners, musicians, authors, founders of nonprofits, owners of all industries within our community. You name it, and we're featuring it. I am your host, Sonia Weaver, and I was kind of getting into that groove as I was listening to it. Ooh, here in Michigan, I was just thinking about the summer coming up with the jazz festivals. Like, can't wait to get some of that live music and just chill on a nice summer day with a good little breeze blowing. Just thinking about the future, getting excited. But today, I'm excited for another thing because we're about to have an amazing conversation. And I just can't wait for it. And I'm sure once you see who the guest is, you would know why. So without further ado, let us move forward into our show. And I am going to say, happy International Women's Day. Yes. A friend of mine sent this to me and I let her know that I'm going to be reading it. I thought it was so appropriate for tonight. So happy International Women's Day to you all. Your achievements keep me grounded and focused as I continue to learn and grow. You are kind-hearted moms, grandmas, sisters, aunties, cousins, nieces, entrepreneurs, and hustlers. You seek education, enlightenment, spirituality, stability, overall health, and joy. Keep making her story. That's right. It is her story. Her story. Keep making it every day, women. You are phenomenal and deserve to be recognized. I hope you had a great day, ladies. And just, I know social media was kind of flooded with some amazing well wishes and celebrations and different things going on for women. There's a couple of things that are going to be coming on as we go into our Stay Connected segment. So make sure you get that pen and paper ready for those upcoming events as we continue to celebrate women throughout this month. As I did the pledge this week, yes, you guys know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Support 7 Bob pledge. As I commit to the pledge this weekend, I did quite a bit of things, but on tonight's show, I am going to feature the fact that I had an opportunity to celebrate with Charles McKay for his birthday, as well as him getting his master's degree. Yes, and it all took place at Centric Place, which is a wonderful co-oping space and event space. And so I'm going to take you on a little video so you have an opportunity just to see a snippet of the facilities. So, yes, the first picture obviously was with the man of the hour. And this was all on the main level. I'm going to tell you, I had a senior moment. I didn't even think about recording the lower level because I did get a complete tour. Downstairs is a podcast studio. It is a bigger event space. And if you are a fitness guru or want to have a yoga or dance class, there is also a room of mirrors with a hard floor, so you can do that as well. All of this is on the lower level. Let me mention that lower level event space has a wall of windows looking right out to a beautiful landscape, and they have an entry straight into the kitchen that caterers, DJs, and everyone else loves to set up at. You can pull right up and get your equipment and your supplies right on out into that event space. It was awesome downstairs. And then upstairs, if you're looking for an office space, the co-working area is awesome as well. As you saw, they have a smaller event space connected in the back with a kitchenette and a small conference room as well. So all of these things are at your advantage. And that other picture with me with that young man is one of the owners. Him and his wife own Centric Place. So you want to think about a place for, again, if you're looking for a space to work or if you're looking for a space to host, it's located in Farmington, right off the freeway, conveniently located. Well, a little bit hidden, but still conveniently located. And I had such an amazing time being there. One thing that I enjoyed looking at, if you notice that wall of ebony pictures, that is right, the big ebonies, you remember those? It's a wall and they are in great condition. And it was like going back down memory lane for those who remember those big ebony magazines. Now, as we go into our deal of the day, what is this week's free gift, you ask? Well, as we celebrate women, what would you think would be most appropriate? That's right. It is Women's History Month. So we're going to be celebrating women who tell stories. That is Link's event this Saturday or Sunday, whichever will work for your schedule. But here on Get to Know Bob, we are giving away tickets to that event. How do you get your tickets, you ask? 3 easy, simple steps. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, like and follow us on social media, and share and tag. That's all you have to do. Send the pics to confirm to info@dealswithbob. The first person to complete these 3 easy steps will receive that free gift. Now, you typically have 7 days to do so, but remember, this event is this weekend, so don't wait. You will want to go ahead and get to it and get those steps complete. So as we go along, I told you I'm moving right along. We're going into our featured nonprofit of this month. Our featured nonprofit this month is Good Measure. And Good Measure is enhancing the lives one measure at a time. Their mission is committed to helping facilitate change in our schools and our community by providing essential needs to low-income youth and their families, as well as provide financial resources and educational guidance to ensure they are aware of the best career choices that are available to them. They offer educational attainment, financial stability, life skills training, healthy living. They want to reconnect our children by using our current technology that's at our disposal. Equitable tech can potentially improve learning opportunities for children throughout the country that were previously underserved. Good Measure is giving our children a voice. And as you can see from the message from the founder of Good Measure, Miss Kimberly Glenn, that they want the children in our community to know they can have a good future. They want them to keep dreaming and be encouraged to believe that success is achievable. To find out how you can help, please contact Good Measure at 734-383-2220. And I'm going to say this again later in the show, but while I have the pen right here, Kimberly Glenn was on most recently, so make sure you check out our conversation. I believe it might have been even last week. I'm telling you, my weeks are like crunching up with so much going on. But I do have that reminder coming up later in the show. But I do believe we had an amazing conversation last week. But if we didn't, it would have been like maybe the week before last. Anywho, make sure you go back and listen to that conversation to find out more information about the amazing work Good Measure is doing in our community. Now, our featured business for tonight's show is Peggy's Pound for Pound Great Cakes. Let's take a moment to see what they do. At Peggy's Pound for Pound Great Cakes, you can have great cakes and bakes. Our consumer members will receive 10% off their orders. I know I've had some of Peggy's Pound for Pound Great Cakes and other sweet treats. And I'm going to tell you, if you're trying to diet, you may want to stay away because they are very tempting and delicious. I'm going to tell you, I had some peach cobbler, which is my favorite treat. So I do stay away from Miss Peggy during certain times of the year so that I don't, get something I'm not supposed to have. So our deals for consumer members, can you get excited? I am going to tell you, here we are kicking it off with Peggy's Pound for Pound Great Cakes offering 10% off to our consumer members. Detroit Metro Plug Podcast, who is the amazing Charles McKay, who we just celebrated his birthday, is offering 15% off his networking events. And even his birthday event was a phenomenal networking event. There are so many great people that I had the opportunity to connect with and meet. And I am looking forward to doing some amazing collaborations in the near future. Five Stones Digital, we're still working on that package from them of what we're going to be offering our consumer members. But if you're looking for any video services, if you're looking to get reels created from footage you have, or if you're looking to have some shorts and reels created, or just want your event digitized or streamed live, Five Stones Digital is one that we highly recommend. And then Rise Up Host. Yes, if you're looking to have that website built to meet your needs very specifically to your liking, then you want to reach out to Rise Up Host. Our next segment. Before I forget, I always forget this part. Let me go into it. If you are a business owner and you want to offer deals, discounts, giveaways, and rewards to our consumer members, please visit www.dealswithbob.com and join today. Now, how do you become a consumer member? That's simple. You just go to www.dealswithbob.com, click on consumer membership, and sign up for your annual package. If you are a business owner, of course, we want you to join as well. We want you to join one of our annual packages where your consumer membership is included. Are you ready to stay connected? I know you are. So if you haven't done so, make sure you grab that pen, grab that paper, because as usual, we have some amazing things going on in and around our community. Kicking it off. Here it is. If you haven't done so, stay connected to what our conversation with Miss Kimberly Glenn, founder of Good Measure, was on March the 1st. That was last week, Wednesday. Make sure you go to our YouTube channel and check out that conversation. Genesis PRC is still looking for volunteers. If you're looking to support Bob, this is a perfect opportunity. Join now by emailing apb@genesisprc.org. Your Money, Your Future, a financial workshop being presented by Good Measure Nonprofit, happening March 11th from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Chopping It Up with the Brothers, Conversations Towards Healing, hosted by Keith Bennett, Darwin Griffin, and Pastor Mac A. Hall Jr. on March 11th from 12 noon to 3 p.m. Saturday, March 11th, pre-Patty's Day pop-up shop. Meet the vendors from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. On March 11th, you have Momentum Boss Entertainment Group presenting a promo event for networking with DJ Millennium and DJ Munchie. You have so much other things that's going to be provided, but this is promoting All for One and One for All fundraiser featuring Sada Baby and supporting Detroit's youth. Links Women's History Month, celebrating women who tell our stories, on Saturday, March 11th or Sunday, March 12th from 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. The Amazing Woman Network Speaks podcast on March 12th is having a conversation where the topic is My Seat at the Table and Chronic Disease in the Black Community with your hosts, Crystal Gunn and Michelle Harper, featuring Lisa A. Smith. Merchants Are Us and Divalicious Enterprise present Business Shower 2023, Saturday, March 18th from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Wills and Trusts, which Terrence Quinn, Esquire, on March 24th from 12 p.m. via Zoom. Women of Crew presents Women with Purpose, happening March 25th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. at the Westin Hotel. Mona Lisa presents Sada Baby, All for One and One for All fundraiser, happening Saturday, March 25th from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. The Laugh Foundation presents More Than Eyes Can See, happening March 25th. Doors open at 6 p.m. Show starts at 7 p.m. That Girl and Detroit Pistons present Motor City Community Fundraiser, connecting the community to our youth, March 27th at Little Caesars Arena from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. And That Girl is honoring and presenting at the 4th annual Being That Girl Awards on March 27th at the Little Caesars Arena from 6 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. And look at all of the amazing women that are being honored. What a wonderful way to have celebrations for Women's History Month. Network and Net Worth present Creating Connections and Opportunities, a panel discussion happening April 1st from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. Ford Seasons is having a Black Vogue runway show on Sunday, April 2nd from 4 p.m. to 12 a.m. And let us support you and your event by adding it to our Stay Connected segment. Visit www.dealswithbob.com and contact us today. Now, I told you to have that pen and paper ready. I'm telling you, it's always phenomenal events going on in our community. That's why I can't get to everything. I try my best. It's only one of me. So I understand and I appreciate all of y'all understanding when I can't make it, because I understand when you can't make it. My friends are just as busy as I am, and we just making things happening in the community. That's all I say. I love what we do. tonight's guest. Yes. Can you get excited? We're about to have an amazing conversation with none other than my sissy, Cheryl Shumake. And I am ready. Hey, 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 hey. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you? I had to get my pen and paper out. I was like, right, okay, I gotta need the contact information for Five Stones Digital and Miss Peggy Pound for Pound and all of that. So I'm gonna be going to the website after we're done.
Awesome. Awesome. Now, some are still being uploaded. Those are some of our recent ones, but Five Star Digital is with my friend Brian. I don't know if you remember Brian Jones, who I went to elementary school with. But yes, that's part of his business umbrella
Okay,
as well. Yes, yes. So I definitely would connect you to him.
please do. I do know that he was instrumental in helping you. So my team is like spread out in Atlanta and Chicago. They're all over, and so I need somebody in Detroit, in the Detroit area as well. So
Where you can like get to them quickly. I
yes,
know that's
yes,
what I miss about my Divine Diva designs, because I was like, hey, I need this real quick, and now I don't
right.
have that. I'm like, oh my god, I gotta find a hands-on person here.
Right, right. So,
I
yeah,
still support when I'm good at
mhm.
having everything done in advance, but it's those last minute ideas that come to you and you like, hey, can you
Right.
do this for
Can you
me?
do this? Can you do it quickly too? So yes.
Exactly. So before we get into a conversation, I have to always remind people like, look, I need you to take a moment and take the baton. I need for you to self introduce, let people know who you are, what you do, a little bit about,
Yeah.
when I say who you are, a little bit about who you are and what you do and why you do what you do.
I don't like doing this. I
I
really
know.
love, yes. And I struggle with what to say, what to share. Okay, so Sonia said my name is Cheryl. I am Sonia's big sister. Very proud big sister, mind you. So, and that is biological. It's not, how we always say that's my sister, but it's no, that's my little sister for real. And, um, and I am a minister, an author, and the founder of Stepmom Sanity. Stepmom Sanity is a Christ-centered sister circle of support for stepmoms. We say for stepmoms who've been there, and y'all know what we mean when we say been there, from by stepmoms who've been there as well. So we really just endeavor to support women in their journey in stepmothering. And I know for the African American community, especially, it's something that we've done all of our lives. That's part of the thread of our history, but we now have the tools to do it well and to do it with some skills. And so we come in as a ministry to bring hope, to bring help, to bring healing, to bring the word of God to assist women so that they can thrive in that role. We don't want you to just be in the role. We want you to thrive in the role that you're in. So, yeah.
Awesome, awesome. And I know since this is your area, I don't know how long organizations, nonprofits, or ministries have existed to offer support in this area. Can you share on that? I mean, because a lot of
Yeah.
people just be out there trying to wing it.
A lot of people are trying to make it. There's one organization that has been around for maybe now about 20 years, and that is Family Life Blended. They are the premier. It's led by Ron Deal, who is a dear friend of mine and now a ministry partner. And he literally is the go to expert in this field. There has not been a lot of other places that people can go, especially when it comes to underserved communities. There's not been a lot of places at all. So we're really just starting to see a ramp up as this is becoming more the norm. I mean, right now, every 10 weddings that's performed, four of them are creating a step family. So it's becoming a normative in society, but we still don't have the support in place to really give these families a fighting chance because of all of the divorces that happen. About 70% of those marriages are going to end in divorce, and we want to stop that. So yeah.
And blended families. I mean, we do talk about divorce, but I mean, blended families are also coming from. I think our generation turned baby mama and baby daddy, you know,
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
I don't know if it became a term because all of a sudden it seemed like an epidemic was happening of having, not like it didn't exist. Don't get me wrong. It's always existed where you had children with their parents weren't married, but it's just like became so much so that it became a new term. My baby mama, my baby daddy, and it just was so carefree that it caused these blended now families when people were ready, I guess more mature, or whatever the case may be, to get married.
Yeah, we accept it much more easily and much more readily now, but we still don't have the necessary skills in place. Oh, excuse
Mm-hmm.
me, to do it successfully. So we'll say that's my baby mama or that's my baby daddy, but it's still coming with the same old drama
Mm-hmm.
that it came with before. And who wants to live that way? I don't want to live that. I don't want to live that way anyways. So
Exactly. And I think for me, that was one of my heart, like, yeah, no, you cannot have children. I am not equipped to be a step parent at
yeah.
all. And I just kind of, I don't know, I guess I kind of knew that. And then here I find myself years later, behold, that I'm a stepmom,
Mhm.
and we have a blended family. And for me, I guess I have some of the things that maybe your organization and organizations like yours are helping people navigate through. Because by the time we were introduced, he was a young adult
Mhm.
versus having to maybe blend and have weekend visits and those kind of things. So out of the time of you deciding to go into this calling, first I would like you to tell us what made you kind of, what's your why, how did you get into it, and then what, if any, have you found are maybe like the top areas that you see most people struggling with when it comes to blending a family.
Sure. Well, I became involved because, like you said, there wasn't anybody doing what I was doing locally or that looked like me.
Mm.
So I needed a community of people to help me do what I was doing and do it well. I didn't want to fail. I had already been divorced after 17 years of marriage. That was a whole nother set of drama. If I was going to get married again, I wanted it to be successful, but I also knew that I had a whole other kind of dynamic that I was dealing with. And I had no knowledge of what that was going to look like, what I was going to do, how I was going to handle that. And I only had one place to go. And I went there and I exhausted that as much as I could, but I still needed more. And what usually happens when the Lord alerts you to a need, it's because he wants you to meet the need. Right. He wants you to meet the need. So after a lot of prayer, I knew that this was where I was going to be ending up, and I kind of just tucked it and kept it in the back of my mind. I put a little website out and thought, okay, that was enough. And then the pandemic happened. I was actually recovering from surgery at the same time that the shutdown happened. And that's when the Lord said, okay, now it's time for you to launch. And he gave me the complete vision for it. And I had
Wow.
no clue how to do it. But he said, don't worry about it. And I think within a week, I had a conversation with a young lady and she said, I need a project. And I said, hey, how about this? And then Stepmom Sanity was born. She helped, she acted like a midwife. She helped kind of birth it, right, to where it is today. And so that was my why, as to what motivated me to go. I needed something, and then I figured I wasn't the only person that needed it, and the Lord said, you're right, go do it.
Okay.
And some of the top struggles that step families in particular deal with, number one, I would say, is like ambiguity, because when you get married and you have a traditional family, your role. You are mom in the household. You are dad in the household. Well, with a bonus family, that's not necessarily the case, and you have to be very flexible because one day the kids love you, and the next day they don't want to be bothered with you.
You're
One
not
day
my mama. You're not my daddy, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. And one day you're like a beloved auntie, you might be a friend, one day you might be, persona non grata. So that's a huge thing, kind of figuring out the role from day to day. That's a struggle. Another struggle, of course, is communication, especially around differing parenting styles. You have a lot of, well, you're not his dad from the adults. You're
Yeah.
not his daddy, you're not his mother. um, and you have conflict that happens because you have these differing parenting styles, and the step parent needs to know when to step back and when to not step in if mom or dad doesn't step up, to just say, okay, you know what, I got to let you parent how you parent. That's another struggle. I would say of the top three, those two, and then the other one certainly would be high conflict with, the other household. That's
Mm.
learning how to navigate that and how to protect your marriage and your home, so that even though the conflict exists, it doesn't have the impact that it could have.
Yes, yes. Now, I'm big on hearing a lot of people say communication in a lot of areas because
Mhm.
we're human, so we definitely need the communication. Ew, my question I'm trying to figure out is because some people are very proactive and they call themselves like communicating between the two of how we're going to do this thing, and get on the same page. This is, I'm bring you in. I trust your judgment with my children, or vice versa. And how often do the best laid plans in advance? Because you can have these relationships, or have you noticed like you have a certain relationship pre-marriage, and then once post-marriage happen, because you are introducing and getting to know. Are you seeing that a lot of people in the best laid plans blow up? Or
Absolutely. Absolutely. Every single time. Listen, they blow up as often as they're laid. I tell you. So, because here's the thing. The thing is that when the couple is dating, for the children, everything is fun. If every time I saw you, what you were doing was giving me candy and taking me to the amusement park, and we're going to the zoo, and I'm having fun and happy times with you, then
yeah,
of
all
course
right.
I'm gonna like you. But when you move into my space and you're taking my parents' time, and you're trying to tell me, you're trying to be an authority in my life, that's a whole now. No, yeah, no, we're not
Okay.
we're not getting ready to do that. So of course there's a shift in what happens
Mhm.
because the relationship changes, and all of that actually is subject to like the age of the child and the relationship between the bio parent and the child. Are they well connected? Is there some insecurity there because of the separation between the parents, or the lack of continuity with this parent? There's so many other factors that go into
Mhm.
how well you can execute the plan you laid out. And really, just it's great to have a plan, that's wonderful, but yeah.
So be prepared to make revisions. Don't put your plan in permanent ink. It's kind of
Please don't. Please don't. But one of the best things you can do for yourself is manage your expectations by not having them. So don't just leave them at the door and go with the flow as you move along. That's one of the best things you can do for yourself. It'll save a ton of frustration.
I love it. I love it. And then you mentioned, which is cool, like ages matter, even whether boy and girls, those
Gender matters.
interactions might change
Absolutely.
and matter. And so, as depending on where you are, if you're getting them younger, if you're getting them, middle school, high school, or those type of things, and even if you're getting them younger, be prepared. It might even evolve by the time high school come, where it's like, hey, wait a minute, we were cool, we, and then all of a sudden it's like, no,
It will evolve because it evolves with your biological children.
right,
And so we have to keep that in mind, that some of this stuff is just developmental. You're still growing. The kids
Mhm.
involved are still growing. Some of the stuff, it has nothing to do with it being a stepchild. It has everything, or a stepmom or a stepdad. It has everything to do with. I remember one time your niece told me, she was like kind of drawing me back. And like, Mom, I remember when you at 18, you were like, you thought every time I didn't want to be with the family, it was because we were a blended family. And it was, she said, no, it was because I was 18 and I wanted to be with my friends. It had nothing to do. So, we can't blame all of this behavior on it being a bonus family, on us being a bonus family, but we do have to remember that, age and how open and receptive are the children to you're going to have different relationships with each child, and what works with one might not work with the other. But
Mhm.
it's the same in your biological family, so that really is not a bonus family thing. That's just a people thing.
Okay. How would stepmom sanity advise a woman who's having the difficulties of connecting with with their step or bonus children? Is there anything that you found with the time you're spending in this arena that tends to work?
Yeah, absolutely. The one thing I would say is you have to be consistent. No matter how inconsistent they are, you need to show up and keep showing up. You are presumably the adult in the relationship. And so they're going to be looking to you. The other thing is give them permission to not like you. Give them
Mhm.
permission that it's okay for them to not like you. You have to have mutual respect. That's a must. But they don't have to like you. And
Mhm.
so that gives them freedom to just kind of have a no pressure relationship with you. And taking the pressure off of them to connect with you emotionally actually leads to better connection down
Mhm.
the road.
Mhm.
That's what I would tell her. Back off.
I love it. I love it. Now, do you deal with the outer layers of blended family? So we're talking about, like, right now, for the most part, mom, dad, children kind of there, but then you have their siblings or their moms, grandmas, and their, cousins or whatever. Do you guys talk beyond and get into that layer?
We do with the women that we get to serve, but we don't directly with those people. I found in my own family what has worked is for me to just have open arms. So we embrace whoever comes to the door. Our oldest is actually my husband's stepchild from his first marriage. And
Mhm.
but she's the first child that was not biologically mine that actually acknowledged me as another mother and gave me a Mother's Day gift. It was her. And I asked her once, like, what was it? Like, what made you feel comfortable? And she said it was you. I called her when my husband was out of town, so it wasn't a relationship through him. And I had her come over, and we sat down, and we had a conversation. We just kicked back, we relaxed, we laughed, we talked. I asked her questions. I was interested in her, and she saw that, and that helped. So that's my bonus children's older sibling. Same thing with their grandmother. I just embraced her. Their grandfather before he passed away. Their presence in our children's life shows up in how our children behave, how our children, are develop, all of that. And so why wouldn't I embrace them? Why would I reject them? And that doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to like me. But again, I'm the one that has to be consistent. The one who knows how to do right is the one that does right.
Yeah, love that. I had to
Mhm.
make that T-shirt. So we have a couple things that people get your pen and paper ready. This says women in blended family. Okay,
Mhm.
share about this. This is coming up on March 14th.
Yeah, so it's alive. This is one of the endeavors that I partner with Family Life. We started off with four of us being on a forum. They are changing that forum now to just one-on-one interviews, and I will be their interview on March 14th. Again, Family Life Blended has a ton of resources for blended families, and We are, again, partner. Stepmom Sanity is partnered with them in a number of endeavors, and this is one. So, if you are available, join us. It's 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, 4 p.m. Eastern. Jump on, listen to the conversation. We're going to be kind of free forming it, just kind of a free for all. I'm not quite sure what the conversation is going to be. I don't have any questions. It's just going to be Gayla and I. Gayla is a wonderful woman. She's a stepmom of some 30, almost 30 years now. And she's also a marriage and family therapist. So it's going to be a really great conversation.
Okay, awesome. I love it. I love it. Now, have you seen any of their previous interviews, or this is really going to be like you said, like don't really know what to expect?
Yeah, I never get questions from them. And I like organic conversations, and so rarely do people send me questions, and I'm very thankful for that, because then we can
Mhm.
just have an open and honest conversation,
Yeah.
and I can give like what comes through is the authenticity of what God has taught me.
Yeah, yeah, and that gives an opportunity for layers or different things that you feed off of responses and just seeing what happens there.
Yeah.
Taking a moment to say hi, Tim. Thank you for joining. I love Bob. Thank you. Make sure that you share this with information with others. Now here's something, guys, that I will be excited to have and to participate what's coming on. Now, I'm bringing it up, hoping that it's okay because it's
Yeah.
open to everybody.
It is open to everyone. Yes.
Okay, okay. So what I'm going to say is I have carried over the lessons in these Bible studies. It seemed like everyone is appropriate for wherever I need to learn within my personal life. So I am excited, overjoyed about when I just saw the word faith. Okay, so then we say faith. I didn't read anything else on this flyer. So tell us about this Bible study, and then I want to just hear, where they came from. What made you even take the time to dedicate to do this?
Yeah, well, I am a Bible teacher by heart. First of all, I love, love, love the Word of God. You've been in my office. I mean, I got Bibles galore and study material galore. I love it. I love delving into it, but mostly because in it I get to discover who our Father is,
Mm-hmm.
and there's such practical application to the Word of God to our lives that makes all the difference. We really can live out a whole life filled with joy,
Mm-hmm.
filled with peace, despite the circumstances around us. But I realized a lot of people, they go to church, they might memorize the scripture, but it wasn't translating to their life. I was
Yeah.
like, okay, let's do a Bible study. Let's do our part to kind of feast on the word and to hear what God wants to say. And people can really begin to, just by the conversation, track God's faithfulness in their own life. I don't have to
Mhm.
really teach it. You really have lived it, and you just get
Right.
to like kind of open it up and say, oh, wait, I do know God like this because these things happen, and it is so cool. So that's how they came about. I just really I love the word. I had a desire for others to know the richness of relationship with the Father that they can find in Bible study. This
Mhm.
Bible study came about, it came about kind of in a roundabout way, because I was reading James and I was really looking at the verses on the mouth. And I was like, ooh, I really got to work on my mouth.
So yeah, you're not alone probably in that one. I'm just
Oh,
letting you know. Especially, I hate to say this, especially as a woman. I'm just gonna be honest.
ma'am, listen. So I'm like, okay, this is an area of my life that I really need some growth in, Father. And so I'm asking you to help me. But then I started looking at this, and I was looking and praying about for what our next Bible study should be. And I started looking at the book of James, and it's really kind of in your face, gut check, like throat punch kind of book.
Mhm.
But it's for everyday life. It was very practical. And how do we live this faith in this way? And, out of James is where, it talks about the effective a fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much.
Mhm.
And it's like, how do we get from all this practical stuff to this particular scripture right here? And I was like, oh my goodness, this book is awesome. Lord, is this our next Bible study? yes, it's our next Bible study. So that's how I kind of landed on it in a roundabout way. And typically that's what happens. For those of you that are Bible teachers out there, you know, we're first partakers. And so we usually, have to take it first. And then we get to kind of feed other people with it. And so I was taking it in. I was like, oh my goodness, Father, thank you so much. There's so much here. And I'm excited. I'm always excited about everyone, but each Bible study, but I'm excited to get into this book in particular. So as well.
Yeah, yeah. I'm excited because the last one, and I believe this was the last one because it has to be the last one. This has stuck with me since that Bible study. So much so was Psalms 23. Oh my goodness. It was, and then I'm gonna tell you, I had like two or three other ministers do that same scripture that last year. So I was like, okay, so it really needed to be broken down to me. But what you did was oh my God, day one, you will not believe what impact two words had and still has in my mind. The Lord.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. I had never realized just how powerful, how much impact just the first two words had. The
Mm-hmm.
Lord, it was just like the magnitude of it. When I now think of him, it's like, well, that's the Lord, like that. And I'm like, shoot, and that's who's my shepherd, because that's
Right.
everything else came
Right.
after that. The way you broke it down was like almost you don't keep reading. The Lord is. It was just like stop at the Lord, not take that all in first, and
Right.
then that's who does all of this other stuff.
Right.
And
Right.
anytime, seriously, throughout the year, if I get feel myself getting stressed, and I'd be like, well, I have the Lord. Like, I am a child of the Lord. It's so different. Like, really, it is
Right.
so different. So I'm telling you, I just so appreciate you taking the time because I'm sure the preparation just to be able to sow into us takes time as well. So, guys, I am here to tell you register for register, ladies, for this Bible study. You will not be disappointed. It will speak to you personally on so many levels. And that is really what I'm learning more and more is like you said, is I'm thirsty for more. When
Right.
it says that like you would never be thirsty again, it's because like you are getting so filled, but I'm like longing to know more and more and get deeper and deeper in relationship. And so I am really excited about the faith piece because I know I tell people 2023 is the next level for so many people.
Yeah.
But when that's happening, the attack is going to be
Absolutely.
great.
Absolutely.
And that's when it's gonna be like that faith. That's why I'm like, I know I need that faith gonna be coming
Yeah.
because it's gonna be like it's not gonna look like
Yeah.
what I think it's supposed to look like because of what I'm thinking is about to happen. But it's that faith. So is there anything you want to share about that upcoming Bible study?
Well,
Because it's
I will
around
say
the
this.
corner, right? Let's put it back up. It's around the
It
corner.
starts next Saturday on the 18th. It starts next on the 18th. Yeah. And it's on Zoom. So you can register at stepmomsanity.com. I will say this. First of all, thank you so much for that encouragement because I don't know what impact this has. I'm just trying to obey God and God owns his own outcomes, right? But every now and again, he blesses us with affirmation. And so thank you because that helps me to keep going to say,
Mm,
okay, Lord, it's worth it. If one person is impacted that way, that makes all the difference in the world. They get a hold of who you are. Oh my goodness, that just like thrills my heart. Now about this Bible study, I don't want to talk specifically about the Bible study itself, but I will say this, that we are not meant to do this life in a silo. We
mm,
can't. We
mhm.
need each other. We need each other to spur one another on. We need each other to encourage each other. I need somebody to come alongside me and lock arms with me and get loaded for bear because I'm going to be weak. I'm going to need prayer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to get crazy. I'm going to get mad. I'm going to want to make decisions based upon emotion instead of truth. And I need somebody around me who is full of the word, who's full of wisdom, who loves God, who loves me to say, wait a minute, girl, and just pull my coattail or pray for me or
Mm-hmm.
walk with me, walk alongside me. So, what I would say, you may be reading your Bible at home, but if you are not in a Bible study or you just want to get around some women who will hold your stuff
Mm-hmm.
very sacred, because it's a very safe space,
Yes.
um, who will hold your stuff and carry it right to the Father, we invite you to join us to be a part of it. I promise you, I don't do all of the teaching. Most of the teaching comes out of our discussion.
Yes, I was gonna say that.
Yes. So this is not the Cheryl Shumake show by any means
And
whatsoever.
don't tell you Cheryl Shumake is not going to let it be the Cheryl Shumake
No,
show. She's gonna be like,
no.
"Oh, do I need to call you out to say something?"
Right, right, right. So we just kind of set the table, and the Holy Spirit shows up, and everybody is contributing to what is being feasted on. There's been so much stuff, and I've been like, hey, that's what that person said. That was it right there. We're done, kind of
Mm-hmm.
thing. So yeah. So please come with a heart, like Sonia said, that is hungry and thirsty for more, because the Lord promised that if you hunger and thirst after righteousness, you're going to be filled.
Mm-hmm. Yes, yes. So I'm excited. You guys get excited. It's going to be promoted, obviously, on ours and shared through because it's on Stepmom Sanity's social media now.
Yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah.
we're
It's
gonna
on my
be
personal
sharing it.
social media too, I think. I don't know. I'm sorry.
I said so we'll be sharing it from your social media platforms as
Okay.
well. Now we have one more event that we have queued up, and this event, let's share and tell us about it.
Yeah, this is the Family Life Blended and Blessed conference that happens annually. It is a worldwide conference. It is there's a live audience, and then of course it's streamed virtually around the world. This year it will be Gayla Grace, Ron, and Ann Deal. Again, Ron is the president of Family Life Blended. Dr. John Trent, the Goins, and myself. I will be kind of wrapping up the conference speaking on the topic of the blessing of blended. And if you cannot get, it's in Orlando, Florida. If you, well, just outside of Orlando, if you cannot get down to sunny Florida on April 29th, you can live stream it into your home. I think the cost is $20 to do that. Or better yet, talk to your pastor, talk to the leaders in your church, and get a church license, and then invite a whole bunch of blended families in your church and in your community as a way for you to introduce your pastor to the need that's in their church. Because I promise you, your pastor probably does not know how many blended families are sitting in his church that need specific resources. So this is a way for you to introduce him or her to the need that he has right in his congregation. I'm excited to be a part of this particular lineup. I think it's going to be awesome. I know what God has given Ron in terms of a theme is really going to encourage and equip the families that get the opportunity to listen.
Awesome, awesome. Now my question is this just one day?
This is one day, yes. So I think it's 9 to 3. I don't know. I think it's 9 to 3.
Well, see, I noticed it just said April 29th, and that's why I said, let me confirm. Is this just
Yes,
one day? So
it
this is
was.
an action-packed day of information with some phenomenal
Yeah,
speakers.
it is an action-packed day. It really is, and it's going to be full of this. The deposit is going to be great. So you're going to feel like a water hose has been like just put in your face, but take good notes and come back to it later. I promise you. You do not. If you are in a blended family, you want to invest in your family in this way.
I love it. I love it. Now, as we are winding down, because we're going to go a little bit over, but we are winding down. And thank you, 10. 10 says much respect to Cheryl Shumake. Great series. Awesome. Thank you, 10. We appreciate it. I want to let you know that in addition to all of the amazing things my sissy does, like seriously, I have been the little sister in awe for forever. She is just like amazing. She's a phenomenal author. So, in conjunction with Stepmom Sanity is Waiting to Be Wanted, which is a stepmom's guide to loving before being loved. What motivated this book?
Yeah, my own journey, because that's what I had to live. I had to live loving before that love was returned. And what did that look like? And how do we begin to walk, especially when our own hearts are hurting, or when we're dealing with offense, or when we have, all of the struggles that come along with being a family that's not quite blended, that's maybe in the blender instead of blended. So, like how do we do that? And as I began thinking about how God taught me, and thinking about just the wisdom that comes along, even some of my own training and educational background, like, okay, this is how we can walk this out. And I started listening to other stepmoms, and they were so frustrated and so hurt, and so what discouraged in their walk. And I was like, it doesn't have to be that way. It doesn't mean that things are going to change your circumstances necessarily, but you can walk this out in a way that you change, and you change for the better, to where you hold good healthy boundaries,
Mhm.
but you still can extend the love of God, because that's really our role
Right.
in all of this. We have a role, of course, with our spouse, but our role really is to point these children to Christ, to love them, and to point them to the Lord. So, yeah. So
Right.
that was the motivation. That's why it came about.
So, what I will say, sometimes we are connected with our friends and our girlfriends because we kind of going through the same things, or, we have the same experiences, and we tend to vent more so than to kind of do practical healing. What I would suggest, because you have a phenomenal book and workbook, that you get a group. If you have friends and it's, two of you, three of you, get together, get these tools really, and work together and find ways of doing exactly what Cheryl says, to strengthen yourself, to be equipped to do what you need to do to be an impact to the children who are truly entrusted to you. Even if you don't naturally birth them, these are still children that are entrusted to you.
That's right. And can I thank you for that? And can I say thank you for saying to get a group together, because that's our next push. Our next push is to
Oh,
begin getting stepmom sanity groups in churches and in communities, wherever, and encouraging women to get together. Let's take this journey together. Let's go through this book, because trust me, it is therapy in a workbook. It is therapy in a workbook. You're going to need somebody to go through it with you. So um, yeah, and kind of encourage one another in the journey. So thank you so much for mentioning that.
oh, of course. Of course. So, as we round down my two favorite questions, now you have just as many hats on as I do, if not more. I think your schedule's worse than mine. I really do. But how do you stay encouraged to keep doing what you're doing?
Well, I get on platforms like my sister's, and she says, this blessed me. That's one of the ways that I stay encouraged. I spend a lot of time with the Lord, y'all, and that's no joke. I wake up in the morning, and I have my time in the Word and my time of devotion. I'm real raw and honest with the Lord, so I just kind of pour all that stuff out. I
Hmm.
have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful tribe around me of family and friends. I have some other things that are coming up that I can't yet talk about. My sister knows, but I can't yet talk about it. So I get to share that with them, and they can encourage me and pray for me, talk me through. So really, it is the community. It is my father. And if this isn't all altruistic, one day I want to hear well done. So I'm highly motivated by that as well. So
Love it. Yes, love it. Now, you mentioned you're surrounded by books. So, this is my favorite question because that's where the knowledge really is. And when we take the time to spend time in it, we can get some awakenings in a lot of areas. So, I'm going to say this though for you, with the exception of the Bible, because I know it's there.
mhm.
What book is currently on your nightstand, or that you've recently read or would highly recommend reading?
I'm gonna go with recently read because there's like about 15 books on my nightstand, honestly, and I have like a couple of some of them right here. But the one book that I am reading right now is called Vertical Marriage, and I highly, highly recommend that if you want to take your marriage to the next level. If you really are looking for like deep partnership and intimacy, I highly recommend this book. Jonathan and I have a really good marriage based on friendship, anyways. But for me, this is doing something completely different, and I'm loving it. So I can't.
Vertical,
Yeah, it's not in
vertical
my
marriage.
vertical marriage. It's not in my office right now, so I can't tell you who it's by. But
Okay.
that's the name of it, Vertical Marriage.
I love it. I love it. So I got some gifts to get together for some people. Okay. Now, is there anything that we haven't discussed that you want to make sure that you share with everyone?
I can't think of anything because I didn't come on thinking like, oh, want to make sure to tell everybody this. So, so if you
No.
didn't ask it, I don't know it.
Well, I want to discuss how I'm gonna get into your luggage and get down to Orlando in April. That's what I want to discuss. But
That
I
is funny.
I do. Thank you. I always, of course I enjoy having conversations with my sister. You guys can only imagine. And I just love having the opportunity to share her with you and all of the amazing things that she does and just bring you guys into her space a little bit so that you can really connect to see how just wonderful she really is, not just only all of the amazing, wonderful things she does. So thank you for coming.
It's my pleasure. Again, I'm so proud of you. I'm loving everything that you're doing, loving that you are going to be one of the that girls that's going to receive some acknowledgement and award. Yay, yay, yay. So it really is my pleasure to be here.
Thanks. And guys, it is definitely my pleasure that you're here. Oh, we got some comments that came in at the end. Um, okay, Kim, she said, man, I'll have to listen to the replay. I didn't make off my Zoom call in time. I know I will be blessed. Oh, and I'm looking forward to Bible study. Oh, yes,
Yay.
Kim. Please watch the replay. Yes, I will say it is a great show. So now, guys, we have some more great shows in store. I love the conversations that we have. And coming up, we will be speaking to the comedian himself, Mr. Arlen Griffin. Oh, next week I'm stoked. And so I hope you guys can get excited. Then we're going to have all of the amazing people that are contributing to the All for One and One for All fundraiser with Sada Baby happening on the 22nd. The event is the 25th. And then we're going to close out the month of March with none other than Mr. Integrity himself. Yes, the guy for branding. If you're looking to take your brand to the next level and increasing that visibility of it, you will want to make sure you join this conversation. And if you have not already done so, what are you waiting for? I need you to go right over to our YouTube channel and make sure you hit that red subscribe button. While you're there, you're going to click that notification bell so you will always be notified of when we go live. And we are in the process of filling up Q2. So get excited for all of the upcoming amazing conversations that we have in store. Again, I just want to thank you. I want to thank my sister for coming on. I want to thank you guys for joining in. Make sure you share with others because this is definitely some information that's needed. So if you know a blended family, and while we kind of focus, I believe, on the Bible study, is it just for women? I just want to make that clear.
It is just for women. That
Okay,
one
so
is
the Bible study is just for women, but being a step parent is called stepmom sanity. So we do kind of focus on the stepmom aspect. But if you know a stepdad that's struggling, share this information with them. She brought other resources that might be there just for the stepdad, but I'm sure that this is universal applications that can be on both parts. So make sure you just share with people. Okay. And that's the way that we support one another. As always, I want to thank you for tuning in. I am your host, Sonia Weaver, and I encourage you to spend with purpose because your dollar does matter and deal with Bob. I'll see you next week. Have an amazing week. Bye.
Right.